12 Stoic lessons to help you sleep peacefully in every storm. Have you ever felt that life is too harsh, like an unannounced storm crashing down, sweeping away all your hope, faith, and even your peace? Have you ever wondered why everything falls apart? Why the things you love keep disappearing? Why the harder you try, the more pain the world throws back at you? I know you're tired, you're exhausted, you're afraid, you're anxious, and at night, right when you think everything should be quietest, your mind screams louder than ever. You are not alone in that feeling, and you are not the first person to fall into that abyss. 2,000 years ago, people also had to struggle with war, disease, loss, betrayal, yet they did not collapse. They did not seek salvation outside, but found strength within their own minds. They were called the Stoics, warriors of the spirit. They left us timeless lessons so that anyone can learn how to sleep peacefully in a storm, live fully in chaos, and find the most solid peace in their own heart. In this video, I want to give you 12 Stoic lessons, forged in steel yet filled with compassion, so that tonight you can let go of your burdens, listen to your breath, and remind yourself nothing can break a soul that has been forged by wisdom and virtue. And let's start with the first lesson, the most important one. Everything happens for a reason. Have you ever screamed inside, "Why me? Why do bad things keep raining down on me?" But do you remember in those very moments when you thought you would collapse, you still made it through? In those bitter moments, you learned something, grew stronger, became tougher, and sometimes even learned to love more deeply. The Stoics did not see adversity as punishment. They saw it as an essential part of the journey. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Do you hear that clearly? What blocks you today will open a path you could never see if you only lived safely and smoothly. Everything has a purpose, even pain, even loss, even failure. Stoicism teaches you to ask, what quality is this trying to train in me? It could be patience, it could be humility, it could be gratitude for what you have. They say strong winds make good sailors, and adversity is what shapes your spirit into a true warrior. When you lie down in bed tonight, instead of chewing over useless questions like, "Why is life so unfair?" whisper to yourself, "Everything happens for a reason, and that reason is to help me grow, to make me stronger." You don't have to understand it all immediately. Trust that wounds will eventually heal, and on that mending path, you will find new strength. Tomorrow may still be hard, but the person who steps out of tonight's storm will no longer be the same. A heart once shattered but then healed with wisdom fears nothing anymore. Remember, everything happens for a reason, and you have the right to turn it into a stepping stone. And then after understanding that everything happens for a reason, we must learn the equally important lesson. You cannot control the world, but you can always control your mind. That is the second lesson of the Stoic sages, and also the guiding star that will help you stand firm amid countless chaos. Be honest. Do you get frustrated every day because people don't behave the way you want? Have you ever lost sleep because of changing weather, political instability, events beyond your control? And have you ever been disappointed because the past cannot be changed, while the future is too uncertain? All of those things lie outside your control. You cannot command the rain and wind. You cannot force others to love or appreciate you, nor can you order the world to stop when you're tired. But there is one thing only, that you have full command over: your way of thinking, how you interpret events, and how you respond. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Listen carefully. It is not the events themselves, but your thoughts that make you suffer. A criticism, a failure, a loss, all of these are neutral facts until your mind sticks labels on them like terrible, unbearable, destroying. And when you attach negative labels, you turn yourself into a victim. But if you change your perspective, if you train a calm mind, you will see that the outside storm has no power to shake you. Marcus Aurelius had to go to war amid plague and riots, but still wrote in his diary every night, reminding himself, "You cannot command circumstances, but you can command yourself." When you lie on your bed, your head spinning with uncontrollable worries, ask yourself, is this within my power? If not, let it go. If yes, take action tomorrow when you are calm and strong. That is how Stoicism teaches us to save precious energy instead of wasting it on meaningless battles. You cannot force the world to be fair, but you can keep yourself fair. You cannot force everything to go your way, but you can decide to live with dignity. And when you have mastered your mind, you will be truly free, a freedom no one can take from you. Tonight, remember, you can control your thoughts, and those thoughts will decide your peace. After you have learned to control your mind and let go of the illusion of controlling the world, the next step of the Stoic journey is to accept what cannot be changed. This is one of the most precious gems of Stoic wisdom because it gives you an unshakable peace. Think about it. Every day we humans spend so much time complaining about what is already done, struggling with the past, resenting a closed door, a person who has left, a plan that has failed. But the harsh truth is, no matter how much you scream, the past will not return, the door will not reopen, and the person who is gone is not obliged to come back. Resisting reality only makes you more miserable. Like swimming against a flood current, the more you struggle, the more exhausted you become. Acceptance is like letting yourself float, letting the water carry you to where you need to go, unbroken and intact. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without pain." What happens, good or bad, is all part of the natural flow. Clinging to what has passed makes you a prisoner of yourself, locking your spirit in darkness. But when you dare to say, "All right, this happened, I accept it," a space opens up inside, a fresh breeze comes in, you breathe easier, and your soul is freed. The Stoics do not see acceptance as weakness. They see it as the pinnacle of strength, because only those who are truly brave dare to look straight at reality, dare to let go of illusions of control, and dare to live on with what remains. You may lose a job, you may lose a loved one, you may lose your health. That is painful, but it does not mean you have lost everything. You still have a beating heart, you still have breath, you still have value in your very existence. When night falls, practice saying to yourself, "I accept. I do not need to fight what is past. I only need to care for what is still in my hands." That acceptance will become the wings that lift you through powerless nights. And then, once you have accepted reality, the next lesson becomes more important than ever. Master your reactions. This is the ultimate power that every Stoic philosopher regards as the most effective shield against life's blows. Just look at an ordinary day. How many times have you gotten angry when someone spoke unkindly? How many times have you panicked when bad news arrived? How many times have you felt sad, exhausted over something small, but it haunted you for weeks, even months? Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "Between stimulus and response there is a space, and in that space lies your freedom." That's right. True freedom does not lie in what you do, but in how you respond to what life throws at you. An insult does not have to burn your heart unless you choose to believe you were insulted. A failure does not have to turn you into a worthless person unless you decide to label yourself that way. Epictetus said very clearly, "No one can harm you without your permission." It may sound cold, but it is the formula for liberation, because you will no longer be bound by impulsive emotions, no longer living according to automatic reactions. You become the commander of your soul. From now on, instead of reacting immediately to unpleasant things, give yourself a breath, a second to pause. Ask, is this reaction truly worthy of the person I want to become? Just that moment of slowing down, you will see a miracle happen. Anger dissolves, fear calms down, compassion awakens. To master your reactions is to master your destiny. You cannot stop the storm from coming, but you can decide how firmly you stand. Whether you keep your patience, your dignity, your calm, even when everything around you is in chaos. Tonight, before you drift into sleep, remind yourself, I have the right to choose my reaction, and in that choice, I have complete freedom. After understanding the power of your reactions, Stoicism takes you one step higher. Learn to love your fate, not just accept it. This is one of the boldest and most beautiful philosophies of the Stoics, called amor fati, the love of fate. Do you see the difference? Acceptance means reluctantly nodding to what has happened, but loving it means opening your arms to embrace it as a necessary part, an indispensable companion. The Stoics believe that this universe has order, has logic, has a deep reason behind every event, even misfortune. They believe that every challenge, every fall, is a perfectly arranged lesson to train your soul. When you love fate, you no longer ask, why me? But instead ask, what is this teaching me? You no longer resist, no longer judge, but even feel grateful for being tested, for having your strength and qualities proven. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, love whatever happens to you because nothing happens without nature's permission. Sounds powerful, doesn't it? If you see the universe as a current, then amor fati is like swimming with the stream, using its whirlpools to move forward instead of being drowned by them. Life will continue to throw unexpected things at you, losses, changes, pain, but if you love it, turn it into an ally, you will no longer be afraid. You will walk in peace because you believe that everything serves your growth. Tonight, as you slow your breathing and notice the many events that have come into your life, try whispering in your mind, thank you, because thanks to those shocks, I have become resilient today. Thank you because thanks to those losses, I now understand what truly matters. This is not self-deception. This is the pinnacle of wisdom. To turn everything into an opportunity, even suffering can become the greatest teacher. Amor fati, loving fate, is how you sleep peacefully even when the storm outside has not yet ended. After you have learned to love your own fate, Stoicism will remind you of another equally essential lesson. True freedom begins when you know how to control your desires. That's right, controlling your desires, not extinguishing them, because it is precisely excessive desire that makes people slaves to external circumstances. Since childhood, we have learned to crave love, to crave recognition, to crave power, money, beauty, to crave everything that might satisfy our ego. But have you noticed that the more you chase after those things, the more anxious you become, the more worried about losing them, the more afraid others will take them away? Epictetus said, we are poor not because we lack, but because we desire too much. So true. You do not suffer because you lack a luxury car, but because you believe that without it, you are worthless. You do not suffer because your lover left you, but because you believe that love is the only thing that makes you happy. It is that belief, that uncontrolled desire, that binds you. The Stoics teach an immortal rule. Everything external, money, fame, beauty, health, can be lost at any moment. The only thing you can truly preserve is your character and your virtue. When you place your peace in what is beyond your control, you will always live in fear. But if you place your trust in wisdom, in integrity, then nothing can shake you. Tonight, as you lie in bed, perhaps your heart still craves someone who has not returned, still regrets a lost opportunity, still dreams of wealth. Gently ask yourself, is this truly necessary for me to be at peace, or is it just an illusion? If you can let go of the wrong desire, you will feel your heart become light, as if you had cast off tons of burdens. No one stops you from dreaming, but dream with wisdom. Prioritize what nourishes the soul, not what makes it dependent. That is true freedom. And that is also the greatest gift that Stoic philosophy wants to give you. After learning how to control your desires, the seventh lesson is to understand the power of the present, to live fully in each moment. The Stoics always emphasize that the only time you truly own is this present moment. The past has gone, the future has not yet come, yet we keep letting our minds get swept away by regret, fear, nostalgia, or imagined scenarios that have not happened. This is what makes you lose both your peace and your inner strength. Marcus Aurelius once reminded, "Do not let the future trouble you, for you will meet it with the same reason that you use today." Do you see? Everything you need to live, to solve problems, to love, to heal is right here, right now. But if your mind keeps running to the past, repeating old pains, or leaping into the future with countless worries, then you are abandoning yourself. Living in the present does not mean giving up responsibility, does not mean stopping planning. It means you focus completely on what you can do today, putting all your will, love, and attention into each breath, each action, each word. Like a warrior focusing on the strike in front of them, rather than being distracted by hundreds of battles behind them. When night falls, the mind often tends to chew on regrets or anxieties, and that is precisely the moment you need to remind yourself to return to the present. Ask yourself, right now, am I safe? Am I breathing? What can I do to be kind to myself in this moment? Just answering those three questions, you have already found the root of peace. All you truly have is this present, a precious gift the universe gives you each day. Tonight, as you prepare to close your eyes, let your own breath become an anchor so that every flow of air in and out reminds you that you are still here, still alive, and still have the right to choose how to live a meaningful new day. After you have understood and practiced living in the present, the eighth lesson of Stoic philosophy will open up another spiritual strength for you, accepting the impermanence of all things. Life, from each breath to every relationship, is constantly changing every moment. Nothing lasts forever. We often suffer the most because we forget that. We think a love will last a lifetime, a career will last forever, health will always stay strong, but when it vanishes, we collapse, panic, and resent. Epictetus taught, when you kiss your child, think that they are not forever, so that when you lose them, you will not be too broken. It sounds cruel, but it is truly compassionate, because it is awareness of impermanence that helps you cherish every moment. When you know that one day you must say goodbye, you will love more deeply, be more grateful, live more fully with every minute you have with the one you love. When you know your body can weaken at any moment, you will take better care of it and not take your health for granted. When you are aware that every achievement can be lost, you will become less arrogant, less attached, and live more humbly. The Stoics do not fear loss because they are always prepared in their mindset. Everything is only on loan and will be returned to the universe when the time comes. This attitude helps them walk through grief without collapsing, through failure without being defined by it, through illness while still keeping their dignity. Tonight, when you lie down, remember that even sleep is a kind of letting go, an act of trust in natural law. You can tell yourself, I cherish what I have, but I am also ready if it is gone tomorrow. That thought will make you free because you will no longer be gripped by fear, no longer afraid of losing control of your life. You will live more fully, more peacefully, because you understand that impermanence is not a curse, but a gift that reminds us to stay awake each day. When you have absorbed the lesson of impermanence, you will understand even more deeply the profound value of the ninth lesson, building inner strength based on virtue. For the Stoics, everything in this world can be taken away, except for your character and your dignity. A fire can burn away your possessions. A disease can destroy your body. A betrayal can steal away your love. But no one can ever touch the integrity, the courage, and the wisdom you have cultivated inside. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Place the perfection of your soul above all else. Everything else is small and fleeting." That is why the Stoics pour all their energy into nurturing four core virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Because they clearly understand, wisdom helps us distinguish what is within our control and what is not. Justice keeps our conscience unstained. Courage gives us the strength to stand firm in the face of adversity. And temperance protects us from unnecessary desires. If each day you only need to do one thing, it is to strengthen these four pillars. You will not be swayed by the waves of fame and fortune, will not panic in the face of failure, will not be haunted by the tongues of others. You will have an inviolable sanctuary within your own soul. And do you know what miraculous thing happens? When you place virtue above all, you naturally gain admiration, trust, and even love from others, without ever having to beg or to pretend. For true dignity always shines like a quiet but unextinguished flame, illuminating even the darkest night. Tonight, before you sleep, you might ask yourself, today, did I live justly? Was I courageous? Did I act with wisdom and self-restraint? Just by repeating those questions each day, you will be on the right Stoic path and will no longer fear any loss, because true strength comes from within, where no event can ever reach. When you understand that virtue is the strongest fortress, the Stoics will teach you another wonderful truth. See adversity as an ally, a secret teacher. This is the 10th lesson, and also an incredibly profound step of spiritual transformation. Ask yourself, why do we usually hate difficulties? Because they bring pain, inconvenience, loss. They shake our comfort zone. But it is precisely that discomfort that makes you grow, forces you to step out of your fragile shell and see your hidden strength. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The obstacle is the way. A closed door forces you to find a new direction. A failure forces you to learn better skills. A betrayal forces you to see who is truly loyal." All of them are invisible coaches, forging your willpower and teaching you patience. The Stoics do not wish for an easy life because they know that ease only makes the soul weak. They wish for challenges to train their courage. They welcome adversity because within it lies the seed of opportunity, the kind that, once you overcome it, you will be bigger than your yesterday self. So tonight, if you are still suffering because of something that seems unbearable, change your question from "why me?" to "what part of me is this training?" It is precisely when you change the question that you will change both your strength and your emotions. Like a fighter training, you need an opponent to practice your strikes. Like a steel blade, you need red-hot fire to become stronger. And your soul is the same. It can only truly grow when it passes through storms. The Stoics do not try to avoid pain, but learn to go through it with courage and clarity. And in that very journey, they find the deepest meaning of life. Tonight, before you close your eyes, think of your adversity as a strict but loving teacher and thank it, because without it, you would never have grown as much as you have today. After you have learned to welcome adversity as a teacher, the Stoics will hand you a final weapon to protect the peace of your soul, mastering your inner dialogue. This is the 11th lesson and also the highest art that few people truly pay attention to. Think about it. Who do you listen to the most every day? Is it outsiders? The news? No, it is the voice echoing inside your own head. That whisper can be a source of motivation, or it can be a prison. If your inner voice is constantly blaming, scolding, repeating mistakes, sowing fear, you will be exhausted to the point of collapse even if no one outside is hurting you. Marcus Aurelius, even as a powerful emperor, still reminded himself every night, "I can endure what my mind says I cannot." He understood that if the mind is left unchecked, it will become a saboteur, inflating fears, distorting reality, clinging to what is past or has yet to come. But if you know how to observe, adjust, and master what you say to yourself, you will become the supreme commander of your own life. Pay attention. When facing difficulties, instead of whining, "I'm not good enough," you can switch to, "I'm learning." When betrayed, instead of repeating, "I'm unlovable," say, "I deserve better." Just one small change, and you have already steered your mental ship toward peace. The Stoics understood true freedom lies in the ability to control the conversation with yourself. Nothing out there is as dangerous as the toxic voice inside you. Therefore, tonight, when you turn off the lights, listen to the voice in your head. If it is too harsh, gently remind it, "I am not perfect, but I am progressing." Be the kindest friend to yourself because you will have to live with that voice for the rest of your life. And only when your inner voice is full of compassion and wisdom will the outside world no longer shake you. And then, when you have learned to master the whispers in your mind, the final lesson of the Stoics will shine clearer than ever. Live with deep gratitude. This is the final gem, the glue that connects all virtues, all lessons that Stoicism has given you. The Stoics, at first glance, may seem harsh, may seem cold, but beneath that disciplined shell is a heart overflowing with gratitude for every breath, every chance to live, no matter the circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, in the middle of brutal battlefields, could still write, "Every morning when you wake up, think of how lucky you are to see the light, to breathe, to think, to love, and to act." It was precisely that gratitude that made him resilient, unbroken by any loss. Imagine, when you are grateful, you will automatically stop complaining, stop blaming, stop expecting the world to always bend to your will. You accept imperfection, but still see enough reasons to love life. You look at a rainy day. Instead of complaining, you feel lucky to have a roof. You look at a breakup. Instead of blaming, you thank it for a lesson of growth. Gratitude is a lamp that shines even on the darkest corners of life, turning them into motivation to move forward. Gratitude also reminds you everything will eventually be lost, so enjoy it while it is still here. Tonight, as you close a long day, take a few seconds to think about the good things, no matter how small: a friend, a meal, a drop of clean water, a kind word. Gratitude does not require you to pretend to be happy, but it forces you to look broader, deeper, to see that no matter how hard circumstances are, you still have something to treasure. And that is the medicine that soothes every pain, the power that revives the spirit faster than any philosophy. You may lose money, status, health, but if you still hold on to gratitude, you will never truly be poor. Close tonight with a whisper, thank you, and let that thank you lull you into peaceful sleep, ready to wake up stronger tomorrow. If you are still listening to these words, it means you have bravely given yourself the chance to heal, the chance to see the world with different eyes. Stoicism does not promise to make life less harsh, but it teaches you enough resilience, enough peace to face every challenge without falling. The lessons you have just heard, think of them as seeds planted in your heart tonight. Then tomorrow, each situation, each person will help those seeds sprout, grow, and become an invincible strength. Before you drift off to sleep, remind yourself, I do not need to control everything. I only need to master myself. And if you find this helpful, do not hesitate to share this video with anyone struggling in the darkness. Who knows, just one stoic word might save a heart. Thank you for listening, wishing you a truly peaceful night and a hopeful tomorrow.